Alright, so I wanted to do a playthrough of Ocarina of Time Master Quest because I see a lot of playthroughs of Ocarina of Time out there on YouTube, but I don't ever see Master Quest. And I mean, I guess there's some out there, but I don't see them that often, and it's probably not the most played through of games. But figured if I'm going to do playthroughs, I might as well start with one of the games that's, one of my favorites, and, a lot of people say that, but, it's just unique to me because it's the first game I ever played on N64 that I owned. And me and my brother got an N64 for Christmas, like the year after the N64 launched. My cousin, who lived real close, had one, and he had, like, GoldenEye and Diddy Kong Racing on there. And I remember just like the first time I saw those graphics, I was blown away by how realistic I felt like they were. I remember thinking like, wow, look at that water, it's just so clear. And in Diddy Kong Racing. And so it was definitely the top item on my Christmas list. And I can't remember if it was the year after or the year before that we also got Game Boy Colors from the other set of grandparents. But anyway, this was the first game that I ever played on my own N64. So I remember when we first booted the thing up, it took us a while to figure out how that controller worked because it was really strange. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and just set up my character here. Yeah. Oh, I decided to do Master Quest also because I've only played through Master Quest one time. Of course, I played the regular game many times, but I've only done Master Quest one time, and that was on the GameCube when we got the Wind Waker and Ocarina of Time and Ocarina of Time Master Quest bundled, and that's the first time I'd ever heard of the Master Quest. But apparently I think it was done on N64, and it was gonna be like the sequel, which Majora's Mask came out as the actual sequel. But it was a totally different game. But apparently, they were just going to do, like, the sequel to Ocarina of Time. They were just going to modify Ocarina of Time and make it harder or whatever. But anyway, it was a blast playing through it because all the challenges and puzzles and things were a lot harder. I remember when I first saw this, games that I had played before, especially Zelda games I've played before, were on the, just on the Game Boy, or I'd actually played, the original Legend of Zelda on NES, and so all these cutscenes and stuff, and that was just awesome. I remember thinking it was really weird that the Deku Tree used these 1,000 Ys, and it kind of reminded me of King James Bibles. And I remember when my friends were watching this, it was like, they're like, why is he talking like that? It's like, I don't know, he's supposed to sound old. So I wonder, the guy that did the translating for this part of the game, or for this character, I wonder why he decided to use that. I'd like to know the story behind that someday. So I don't remember, at Christmas, when we got this game for Christmas, we immediately turned the whole thing on and set it up and played it, but I don't remember seeing all this intro. I don't specifically remember it. I just remember mostly the Kokiri Forest. We would just push A as fast as we could through all this stuff. We never read any of that. And I remember my mom was like, why aren't you reading it? Slow down, you're not going to know what to do. Because little did I know that Mom and Dad were actually kind of video game veterans, especially Dad. They play a lot of video games, and they understood that you had to actually pay attention to what they were saying, but we didn't care. I guess I was probably 6. Yeah, I think I was 6 or 7, actually. So I wasn't really interested in reading the dialogue. This part's always so annoying. Just seems like it takes forever for her to get in there. But I know, they gotta show off those polygons. sound effect. It's like, what is he, cold? I don't understand what's happening here. Also, I never noticed that outside his window, it looks like the Lost Woods, the little section where the bridge is, and there's like those platforms that I think you have to plant some magic beans to get over to them. Nice to meet you. I'm going to be annoying you for the rest of your life in this game. You don't need to eat breakfast or anything, just go. Yeah, so this is where I actually remember starting the game. I don't know why as a kid I just didn't pay attention to that intro stuff, but we must have played around in this. I thought that the Cookie Reforce was the entire game. Like, I had no clue that you could go outside of it. You know, that first day that we played, and I just I just remember like running around and thinking, man, this is a really cool game. I mean, I was satisfied with just the forest. I had no like intention of trying to leave the forest, and I just assumed that like the guys that stop you from going out were just there to, I don't know, just there by the designers to keep you from going anywhere. So the little mini-map in the bottom corner, we never paid any attention to that thing. I always thought these drawings here were really interesting. I remember as a little kid we would like sit around and kind of debate, me and my friends, like, why did he write that? Is there going to be a dinosaur that attacks the forest or what? So yeah, the mini-map, we never paid attention, me and my brother. We just completely ignored it, and once we were tired of playing the game, you know, my mom picked it up, and this is still at Christmas, like the day of. My mom picks up the game and decides that she's going to go exploring, and she found the sword. And we were like, you know, once we realized, suddenly we hear him in the sound effects of him swinging that sword, and we were like, how'd you do that? How did you find that sword? You got to tell us. And my mom's like, well, I just went exploring. We were like, we looked everywhere. I remember my aunt who was there thought it was hilarious that you could just find money in the grass. She was like, yeah, that's probably where I keep all my change is in the grass. I wish I could just go out in the grass and pick up all my change. This little section right here, we got lost in like forever. Me and my brother, we just could not figure out how to go through here. And there's really no easy way to look around the corners, I mean, other than Z targeting, but still, it's just like such a cramped area. A hidden treasure. I always thought this sign was really odd. Item related questions. I mean, like, realistically, why would it be there? So yeah, I'm playing this on a, this game is a hack of the original game, and so I remember on the GameCube it did this too. It was really odd that it would show like random places, like your house, when you open the pause screen. That was so weird. But I don't know what's up with the pixelated loadout screen. I don't know why it's doing that. Yeah, so that right there, where he's swinging the sword, that was the first thing that I remember. Like, I remember my mom playing and hearing that sound. I'm like, what is he screaming about? And then, it's like, how did you do that? My mom, and that, like, is a continuing theme throughout this game, because my mom used to play this game while we were, my brother and I were at school. She'd be home, and she would get home from work, like, a little bit, like, an hour or two before us. And so she would play this game for about an hour, and she constantly was like ahead of us in the game and finding out like all the secrets before we could. And so I would want to ask her so bad, like, how did you find this? And I think I did, and I think I remember her saying, I'm not telling you, you have to figure it out. Like, she knew how to like help us enjoy this game. It was so funny. This room, I remember my friends when they would play this game, they would like refuse to open these chests. I don't know why, but they would just leave them there. Like, they'd be like, no, you have to save that stuff in case you need it. Like, what? You're never coming back in here. Like, you're never gonna need this petty cash. Just get it. And I remember we would like try to tell them, you know, you can open those chests, but you can't break those pots. And they just, I don't know why I got so confused about that. I remember when I first like realized that there was a pattern right there where you could jump across and get that, you know, 5 rupee, that blue rupee. Wait a minute. So we would like fill up our wallet by going in there. Like, we would do that jump and then go back into a house and then come back out and do it over and over and over again. It always bugged the heck out of me. You can't break those arrow signs. Like, why can you? That doesn't make any sense. Why can you break the square signs but you can't break the arrow signs? Every time we would figure out that you could get up somewhere like high like that, and be like, hey man, did you know you could get up on top of this building? Wow, really? What's the point of getting up there? Nothing, but did you know that you can? So I think I'm just, oh yeah, I was just looking for rupees right here, just to get enough to buy the Deku shield. And yeah, it's pronounced Deku, it's not Deku. And you probably heard arguments why, but any of my friends that would say Deku, I'd be like, no, it's Deku. It's like, not that I understood the, you know, Japanese translation stuff, but it just seemed the right way to do it, because it is the right way. So, you know how, like that, whenever you target somebody, they got the little icon over their head? One of my friends insisted that in this game, you had to get those jewels off of their head. He kept calling them jewels. And he was like, yeah, you have to get those jewels off of their head. That's the point of this game. And he would just like insist, like he was so convinced that that's what you had to do. And I was like, are you sure? I mean, I don't think so. I think you're thinking of another game where you have to get that off, like maybe like Super Mario 64 or something. And he was like, no, you have to, that's what you're supposed to do. And I swear he wouldn't leave a room. I mean, I don't know what the deal was, but he was like stuck in this one room here in the Kokiri Forest, and he would not leave until he could get that off their head. And I was like, you just can't. You can't get them. That's not what it is. Coincidentally, it was actually that kid that stole my copy of Ocarina of Time. He loved that game so much, I guess, that he had to steal it. We lent it to him, and you know, he was insisting about it and like about getting those jewels off. And then whenever I was like, hey, you gonna bring my game back? He was like, I already brought it back. And I was like, no, I don't have it. And he said, yeah, we left it on, y'all weren't home, so we left it on the back of y'all's parked car in the driveway, and that's where it was, and so we thought y'all would get it. And I was like, seriously, dude? I was so mad. I was like, hey man, I'm just a kid. I was like 9 at that point, and we'd already beat the game and everything, but I was like, I don't have enough money to go buy a new copy of this game, and I didn't even know how to do that. I think at the time I had just bought GoldenEye. I think GoldenEye was the second game that I bought, because I remember my grandparents wouldn't buy it for me. And so I saved up $26 to go buy it. And interestingly enough, I just I lost that cartridge somehow or another. But I just recently bought it again on Amazon, and it was $26. The Deku Tree. I'm back. I bugged the heck out of this kid until he came and visited you. So yeah, I never read this stuff. I mean, I missed out on so much of the game as a kid because I never read this until way later. Probably I didn't read any of it until I actually replayed Ocarina of Time on the GameCube. I wish I would have, because I would have understood what was going on, but you know, you're like blah blah blah, don't care. I remember one of our friends told us that if you go over to like somewhere around the edge of the Deku tree's roots, like on the kind of around the back, that he said that either there was a chest there or that there was an actual like golden ingot, a golden bar back here that you could get that was worth like a ton of money. And I swear, I spent like an hour trying to figure that out. I don't know where he heard that, but there seemed like there was a lot of rumors like that. Like how to get a machine gun in Zelda and all this kind of stuff. So I guess I'm going to cut it off here, and we'll pick it up next time inside the Deku tree. And get to talk about why that was such a significant experience going inside that thing. It seemed like Ocarina of Time broke through a lot of new ideas for game design, and did a lot of things, at least for me as a little kid, that I'd never seen done in games before. And especially because a lot of games were not kind of open world like this, as far as I knew. This is the first open world type game that I played, and I think it has a lot to do with why I like games like Skyrim nowadays.